We have Bernadette Thompson, excuse me, Bernadette Thompson, yeah, and Rod Digga.
Hey, Afropunk. Hey, Afropunk. That's what I like to hear. Hello, everyone. My name is Shelby Stewart. I am the editor here at Afropunk, and we are going to dive in about nail art and how black women, how we have contributed to what nails have looked like over the years. From the beginning, from our days in Africa to today, we have really created very intricate designs with our nails, and I have some amazing, amazing women sitting here with me to talk about it. So I just want to start with a brief intro. I have Morgan Dixon here, who's a trailblazer in the nail industry, who's known for her innovative designs and commitment to celebrating black women's contributions to nail art. We have the amazingly talented Rod Digga, a multi-talented artist and advocate, bringing a unique perspective on the intersection of culture and business in the nail industry. And Bernadette Thompson, an industry veteran with a wealth of knowledge on turning creative passion into entrepreneurial success. Give them all a round of applause. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. I'd love to hear from all of you about the history of nail art for you as a form of self-expression in black communities.
I guess I'll start. Well, for me, I learned the importance of nails early on in my career because as a rapper, you know, they have this expression, rapper hands. And one thing I noticed with videos, with photo shoots, with just even performing, our nails appear a lot more than we realize. I don't know how many times have you watched a movie and the first thing you notice is, ooh, that girl need a fill-in. So nails pop out way more often than, you know, like to think. So for me, it was important, especially as an artist and having those rapper hands where I'm on stage, and a lot of my musical expression is with my hands. I do a lot of talking with my hands. So as long as I'm holding a mic, as long as I'm doing things with my hands, it was important for me to showcase my nails as much as possible, which is why I've adopted just permanent bling on my nails, because I always like that pop whenever, you know, whenever my hands are being displayed, which in my case, 9 times out of 10 is holding a microphone, so you always get to see it. They're always on display.
Microphone check, 1 2 1 2.
Bernadette?
Well,
Or
I
Morgan?
agree with Digga, of course. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so yeah, I think nails, for me, started when I was a very young girl. My mother had like these amazing, beautiful long nails, and she would cut them off all the time. And I didn't understand why. So I would take her nails that she cut off and put them under my fingernails. And it just, I mean, at that age, you don't feel sexy, but I felt like cute. And so for me, the nails was an expression of my feminine side. It made me feel very sexy as an adult now. Very sexy, grown up, all those good things. And so, you know, communicating with my hands, whether it's to men or to, you know, anybody, but, you know, a lot of communication, like she said, was through my hands. And so that's how I expressed a lot of my stuff. It wasn't verbally, because I didn't always feel like, because, you know, apart from being in a nail salon, just give you a little background, I formed the first black nail-owned company in the history of the world. So after, thank you. So, but after that, you know, being on set, backstage in other countries where I couldn't communicate verbally. I remember my first show out of, like a fashion show I did backstage for Gucci was in Italy. That was my first show. I just left the Little Kim photo shoot and went straight to Italy, and I didn't speak the language of any of those people. So really we communicated with our hands. They had a whole team for me, but I had never met them beforehand, and we didn't speak the same language. So it was really this, you know, you do this, you do this. I didn't know the language at all. So communicating with my hands is what I've always done my whole life.
I think growing up and seeing my mom as well, it was just something that I can relate to, that it wasn't the sexiness, it was just a symbol of power. It was just a powerful tool that I saw my mom's from the Bronx, and she talks with her hands a lot, so it's just always communicating with her, but seeing her in different environments and different settings. I got my first job at an Italian restaurant just because I asked my mom if I could get my nails done, could she take me next time she goes, and she told me, no, you need to get a job. So I got my job just so I can get my first set of acrylics. So for me, that was like the first thing that I could do for myself as a woman, a young woman. And again, it just was always just a symbol of just powerful women. So, yeah.
So when you ladies think about nail trends and how they've evolved over the years, who are some black women, pioneering black women that inspired you or have inspired you to do different designs on your nails?
I think you should answer that.
Me?
Yes.
For me, I'm from New York, so, and I work on movie sets and commercials. I'm not a salon manicurist. I work on commercials, movie sets, fashion shows globally, all over the world. And so for me, inspiration didn't always come from celebrities. But it came from celebrities too, but it was also riding the subway trains and watching all the ladies in the Bronx going straight through Manhattan, through Brooklyn, and watching like all the street girls with the nail art. I remember being like, driving my vehicle to Atlanta to the hair shows in Detroit, like looking at all the ladies, and that's where most of my inspiration came from, was Detroit. The Detroit nail techs had it going on, for real, for real. Yeah.
She's being very modest right now. I just need y'all to know that this is the woman that was responsible for coming up with the concept of putting the dollar bills in the nails.
The money manicure.
The money manicure.
Yes.
This is the person that created that.
Thank you. Yeah, that part. And the marble nail. And a couple other things. But my inspiration came from watching black and brown women in the hood, basically. Yeah, and then I would, create different ways and different, ways to do the nails, of course, or even it could have been, I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, so fabrics, textures, that's how I started putting different textures on nails, because it came from my fashion background, colors on fabric. So when I work on set, I don't really look at, I do work with hair and makeup team, of course. We collaborate together all the time, come up with concepts and how we're gonna make, this celebrity look a certain way. But a lot of it for me came from the shoes and the clothes. That was, the texture, I think. So I started playing with different fabrics to put on nails and different things, and so, yeah.
I think I am newer. I've been doing nails for about 12 years now, so definitely don't have that much time under my belt, but have been so inspired by the women before me. Again, seeing women like Donna Summers, and again, just a bold red nail, it just said so much. So again, just seeing imagery that I feel like was something that, yes, growing up, seeing in generations before me, again, the 90s were such a amazing time for nail art because it was going on prior to that, but there was just so much more of a form of an expression, and I'm a 90s baby, so that was all that was in my face. I have a salon here in New Orleans, but I was actually the first nail department head in the film industry, so there was never a nail department. So that was a world that, again, there were so many women and people before me doing nails in the industry, but unfortunately, we've always been the misfits of the industry, so a lot of precedents weren't set in some ways, but again, a lot of inspiration just comes from just those women helping pull us, along with them and making sure that the next people to come kind of have, things set in stone. Like, I've known Bernadette for a few years now. We've never really been able to sit this close to one another, but she's always been such an inspiration for me. And even, again, just saying I've been doing nails for as long as I have, there's a generation after me who are doing nails right now. I'm considered an older nail tech now, so it's just, we have to kind of just keep paving the way for each other as we keep it going, you know?
Absolutely. And Bernadette, you said something really, really good, that you said that you got a lot of inspiration watching women in the hood and seeing their nails and their beauty trends, right? And I think we all know and we can all concur that everything is ghetto until it's deemed popular, right? So I just want to hear from all of you, like, what were some of those trends that you saw that you just really, really loved and still love today?
Long square nail for me was my thing. Like, I always loved just a long, you know, I love seeing nails in the wild, like Bernadette's saying, just like people, you know, texting on their phone, picking it up, you know, the click clack, all that. It's like the movement, you know, is what has always captured my eye. But that long square acrylic nails is my favorite personally. It could be a one color, it could be blinged out, there could be some chains moving, but just that long square nail personally.
For me, I'm gonna take it a little step further. I'm gonna 100% real with everybody in here. So I got sick and tired of seeing just nails. Like, where was the business part of it? Where were we gonna fit into the business part of this equation? Nails is a 65 billion with a B, billion-dollar industry every single year. Yet we are always in the nail salons, but we make up 1% of the market share. We don't make any money. We think we are making, but even me, 30 years in the business, and the number one, like, the first nail company in history, like, nobody black or brown thought of creating a nail company before me, and I'm not that old. Like, I couldn't understand why, you know what I'm saying? We are not hitting, like, the dollars. We're spending the dollars, but we're not making the dollars. And I think that is why I just kept going. It wasn't just about the nails for me anymore. It was more about how are our people going to profit off of this trend and this culture that we started. And
Hype don't pay the bills.
What is it?
Hype don't pay the bills.
Sure don't.
So,
likes on Instagram don't pay the bills
they
either.
do not. Not at all.
Yeah. So for me, it was more about not just the artistic side, but definitely the business side. We need to capitalize off of all this that we created. I'm telling you, $65 billion is a lot of money. Like, for reals. Like, most of us combined might not even see $3 billion in a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That's like what is happening every year. Every time we step in those nail salons, every time we buy nail products and we're not supporting our own businesses, we are giving our money away. And if you have 2 jars and you keep taking out, one is gonna be empty. So we need to be putting back in our communities, or at least holding these companies accountable and making them support our businesses. If we're spending our money and our dollars in their businesses, we have to make sure they're putting back into our businesses, or our cups is gonna be empty. That's all, for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Rod, did you want to chime in?
I would just say, for me, I used to be like fascinated with graffiti, and there would be like designs and things that I would want to do to my nails. And if you're in the hood going to get your nails done, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be an Asian nail salon. So when I used to go to the nail salons and I would ask for, you know, a particular style or something that I would think was unique to me or spoke to my culture, they didn't really get it. So I had to then go and find, you know, I had to go into the nether realms to find out, well, who can put graffiti in my nails? Who can understand graffiti? Certainly not the Asian nail shops. So eventually I ended up, you know, just making I think I used to travel all the way to Brooklyn when I wanted those types of styles. And it's just interesting that a culture that we create, because really we are the pioneers of the, you know, of the long blinged out nails, the stiletto nail. That's my favorite design, the stiletto nails, until I started poking holes in all my clothes, and I had to be like, all right, you can just round off the tip a little bit for me. But it's just interesting how we create those things, and just to piggyback off one of you ladies said, it's, you know, it's ghetto until it becomes popular. You know, if you go into into your job, it's like, oh, well, you can't have those nails here, this, that, and the third. But then Kim Kardashian will do it, and then all of a sudden it's something that she pioneered, or she gets the credit for it, or, you know, one of those influences that don't look like us. But here we are creating it all the time, every time.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great segue into my next question for you ladies. How can Black artists and entrepreneurs influence the future direction of the nail industry?
I think setting standards. Again, I'm still working heavily in the industry. You know, New Orleans, there's a huge film, just movie industry. We know here it's a big part of the community. And again, I had to kind of learn from just other Black women in the beauty side of the industry to help me know what prices I need to be setting, you know? And as I've been doing this for the last few years, I'm setting precedents to make sure that I'm charging what we're worth and not apologizing for it. I had a hard time giving up a lot of jobs at times because I was always trying to fight for something and really, you know, knowing that I had to put a little bit of extra work into some things. But if I'm charging nothing, they're gonna keep trying to find somebody cheaper than me. But it's like, if I'm charging higher prices, it's letting other entrepreneurs, business women just feel comfortable to charge those things too. It's just something that I really put myself on a huge, I don't know. I just work really hard to make sure that I'm charging what I think we are worth. And hopefully other beauty professionals, nail artists, nail techs, whatever you want to call it, are doing the same, because we're doing it for each other, you know?
I think in order to know your worth, you have to know the entire business. So you need to do some more, like nail techs, upcoming nail techs need to do research. They need to step outside of the salon sometime, look up from the nail table, read some books, like really get into like the chemistry of what nails is, like the polish, the gels, like really get into like the ingredients and understand what it is. So when you're in a conversation or in a room with a director or a movie set casting agent, and you speak in those terms, they know what you're talking about, and they know you know what you're talking about, and then you can ask for your rate that you're worth.
Even taking business classes too, like it's just cross, you know, interpersonal skills that really have taken me farther, I know, because I do take the time going to the business classes at trade shows. Like, look online, you know, YouTube is so easily accessible for things, but you can learn a lot by learning more. Like,
absolutely. And you know, the personal or the professional trade side of things and the entertainment industry are two different industries. And people think, oh, because it's just nails, it's all the same thing, but it's not. They're really two different industries. And there's like 4 or 5 different industries within the nail realm. So really get to know, you know, really read up on these things and understand what the business is. And then I think for that, these young girls can go much further. And then more the entrepreneurial side. Like, I did nails for so long. I was Mary J. Blige nail tech for 15 years straight. Went on every tour with her. I was Missy Elliott's nail tech. I was Little Kim's nail tech. And I literally one day, because I was on Total's, that group Total, their photo shoot for their album cover. And there was the photographers there who was shooting artists for the first time. And, you know, we connected, and they called me the next day. They say, oh, can you do a Louis Vuitton job for us? And I was like, Louis Vuitton? Heck yeah. I worked at Wendy's to, like, save 3 checks to get a Louis Vuitton bag. I was like, yeah, I'm going. And so I was able to, like, reach out and meet different arenas within the professional realm. And I think that a lot helped. I wasn't afraid to step out there. But when I got the job, I think I changed the subject. I'm sorry. You can bring me back if I didn't I? Oh, okay. So I said, I was on the Louis Vuitton shoot, and they said, oh, they're French, so they're not doing nails at all. They don't know nothing about nails. And they were like, oh, just do like beige nails. And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I really worked hard for my Louis Vuitton bags. I'm gonna do some Louis Vuitton nails on this Louis Vuitton photo shoot. And then they just went crazy. And from there, I think, so it was like limited edition bags, and I did the nails to match the bags. And so it became a huge trend, and I think that's where globally nails started to move from just our industry. And so it's a bittersweet thing for me. It's like I introduced it to America or the world, but we didn't really capitalize off of it like I really wanted us to. So I think now I'm not playing anymore. So we're gonna take it back.
Let's give these ladies a round of applause. Stand. Oh, sure, go ahead.
One last thing, I created a boombox, and in that boombox is 21 colors. So I started with 21 nail polishes when I started this business. And those 21 colors, I did 21 iconic female hip hop artists from when they started straight through. And so this anniversary of hip hop boombox, I added acrylics and gels in it, because now when I started it was just nail polish. They didn't have colored acrylics and gels. And so now this box, which is coming out August 11th for the anniversary of hip hop, which should have been on that back wall, but it's all right. And Digga, who's one of the artists who's in the box, who collaborated with me, picked her own color, she named her own colors, and so she has her own trio. And so if you don't want to buy the entire box, you can buy her trio, or you can buy each product individually. And so follow me on Bernadette Nails at Instagram. And
RodDiggaMusic.com for all things me.
all right.
Mad Nails at Mad Nails. Yeah.
Yeah, ladies, let's take back what we started. I'm sick of
Yes,
it.
and don't be scared to let black folks do your hands and feet. Over the
Right.
years, I done heard so many sisters like, nah, I ain't letting them touch my feet. Like, we've just been indoctrinated to be comfortable with the Asians doing our nails. Like, take a chance on your sisters.